2002. Deep Basin Natural Gas of Northwest Alberta was initially acquired as part of a larger acquisition and further augmented by other acquisitions. We leveraged our knowledge and expertise between British Columbia and Northwest Alberta to make both areas stronger. These areas are home to numerous resource plays and shale gas opportunities and are a part of our future growth story. Next, 2005. Construction of the Horizon project began in 2005. The company targets to expand production of SCO from this world-class asset to 250,000 barrels per day of SCO, with no decline in production for decades to come. 2008. The Primrose East expansion added 40,000 barrels per day of capacity after achieving first production. The company targets future development of its thermal crude oil assets should commodity pricing warrant economic growth. The company applied for regulatory approval of the Kirby In Situ Oil Sands project, the next project to expand the company's thermal crude oil portfolio. 2009. Canadian Natural realized first SCO at the Horizon Oil Sands on February 28, 2009. Shortly afterwards, on March 18, 2009, Canadian Natural had its first shipment of SCO into the sales pipeline and began to market production of SCO in all traditional SCO markets and refineries. In Q4-9, the company targeted reliable and consistent production at design capacity of 110,000 barrels per day at Horizon. Baobab production in offshore Cote d'Ivoire was restored to approximately 11,000 barrels per day net to Canadian Natural after completing a drilling program in Q1-9. 2010. The company received regulatory approval for its Kirby In Situ Oil Sands project, and the Board of Directors sanctioned the Kirby South project, with construction commencing in the fourth quarter of 2010. Peak production at Kirby South is targeted to be 40,000 barrels per day, with an overall cost target of $1.25 billion. 2011, Canadian Natural focused on the continued development of our high-quality thermal in situ assets, expanded the Pelican Lake Tertiary Recovery Project, and planned for the Horizon Oil Sands mine expansion, all part of the company's strategy to transition to a longer-life, low-decline, more sustainable asset mix. In addition, the company executed record drilling programs in primary heavy crude oil and North America light crude oil, and generated strong free cash flow from our international operations. 2012. The company achieved record yearly crude oil and NGL production of 326,829 barrels per day from its North America exploration and production segment. In the fourth quarter of 2012, the company's board of directors sanctioned the Redwater Upgrader Refinery project, an exciting new facet of our diverse asset portfolio. Combining our strengths with the expertise of NW Refining, Inc., the company formed a partnership targeting a competitive return on capital. The project targets to add 50,000 barrels of bitumen conversion capacity to the market in 2018, further contributing to improved heavy crude oil pricing for all of the company's heavy crude oil barrels. 2013, Canadian Natural's Kirby South Steam-Assisted Gravity Drainage (SAGD) project achieved first steam injection ahead of schedule and on budget during the third quarter of 2013. Additionally, during the third quarter of 2013, plant expansion at Septimus, Canadian Natural's premium liquids-rich natural gas Montney play, was completed. The newly expanded gas plant reached its production capacity of 125 million cubic feet per day and approximately 12,200 barrels per day of liquids with the completion of new wells. Horizon successfully completed the first major planned turnaround in 2013, which contributed to increased reliability across operations. Horizon averaged over 100,000 barrels per day of high-quality SCO during the year. Canadian Natural completed the acquisition of certain conventional light crude oil and natural gas properties. The added production and undeveloped land base was complementary to Canadian Natural's existing assets and was concentrated in light oil-weighted assets with strong netbacks and a long reserve life. 2014. Canadian Natural entered into several agreements to acquire conventional crude oil and natural gas assets, primarily located in Western Canada, in areas adjacent or proximal to Canadian Natural's current operations. The acquired assets are high-quality, concentrated liquids-rich natural gas-weighted assets with additional light crude oil exposure. The acquired assets also included associated key strategic facilities, a royalty revenue stream, and undeveloped land. The company took another step toward the transition to a longer-life, low-decline asset base with the completion of the Horizon Phase 2A expansion in Q3 14. Subsequent to successful startup of the expansion, in which additional coker capacity and equipment were added, the Horizon plant's nameplate capacity was increased to 133,000 barrels per day of SCO. The strong performance of new equipment, along with the implementation of an optimized mining strategy, have enhanced the stability of the extraction and upgrading processes, resulting in a further increase to plant nameplate capacity to 137,000 barrels per day of SCO late in 2014. In December 2014, the company sold a substantial portion of its royalty assets to Prairie Sky for cash and shares in Prairie Sky. 2015. A steep decline in commodity prices challenged the economic environment for the entire crude oil and natural gas industry. For Canadian Natural, this challenging environment emphasized the effectiveness of our proven strategy. The company exercised its capital flexibility at the beginning of the year, resulting in a reduction of its original budgeted capital spending by $3.4 billion. The capital reductions primarily related to reduced drilling activity and related facility capital for its North America and international conventional operations, as well as the deferral of capital expenditures related to the Kirby North Thermal In Situ project. Canadian Natural continued to focus on its transition to a long-life, low-decline asset base, allocating the majority of capital expenditures toward the Horizon expansion. Despite an overall reduction in the company's capital budget, production grew by 8% to 851,901 BOE per day from 2014 levels. Canadian Natural's heightened its focus on effective and efficient operations in response to the change in commodity pricing. Our teams worked steadily to reduce capital costs related to drilling, completions, and facilities, and achieved cost reductions ranging from 20 to 25% throughout the company's North America exploration and production operations. Canadian Natural increased its quarterly dividend to 23 cents per share, representing the 15th consecutive year of dividend increases.